Well, imagine if you had your own lawyer available to answer your questions. You certainly do here on a Thursday morning on Radio 97. If you have a question about the law, Despina happy to answer it for you. Just send it to us. And the best way to do that is through the website radio97.com.au. Right there on the front page, you'll find some contact details for us. So send in the question and Despina happy to answer it for you. radio97.com.au.
Thank you, Wayno. All right, this segment, I love it because I know we have so many listeners that love the lotto, that love joining in and hopefully getting that lucky ticket. But lotto winner Craig isn't feeling so lucky because he's upset because Centrelink is now reducing his regular pension payment.
Ah. What's this?
What's this? What's
How
this about?
dreadful.
Taking my money away.
Taking his money, and he's just won the lotto, and he says it's taking away a bit of that shine of the win because Centrelink is taking quite a few $100s off him each month. So, Despina, talk us through, and I feel like there will be a little bit of nugget gold information for those lotto buyers listening in.
Okay, so let's get straight into it because we've got a short time. When I read the story, I thought, okay, I'm going to look into this, right? Because this doesn't sound right to me, right? You go buy a lotto ticket, you win, and now it's going to be assessed.
Yeah.
And so let's be clear. They've reduced his Centrelink payment because obviously they've assessed it as income, right? Because they've said, okay, well, now you're getting a quote unquote income. So now you're not going to get the full pension, you're going to get half the pension or whatever it was. And how can that be? Because you've got lots of people out there, I'm sure, listening going, oh, I buy a lotto ticket every week. Does that mean if I win, my income's going to be higher? So when I looked into the T's and C's for this particular one, it was called Set for Life. And I had a quick look at the terms and conditions online. So this one was where he won a $60,000 payment, I believe, but then it was paid monthly. So $5,000 over 12 months. And in the T's and C's, it does say that Set for Life means you've got continual payments over a period of time, whether it's 12 months or whatever it's going to be. In this case, it was 12 months. So I have assumed that because I haven't obviously heard, and no one has heard from the commissioner or from Centrelink as to why they've assessed it and why they've called him a professional gambler. But I have taken this to be that they've seen these monthly payments now coming in as, income. And how can that be? So I went and did my little research as I do, and I found this fantastic taxation ruling called Tax Ruling IT 2655. So if anybody is in this position, go and Google it. And it was issued by the Commissioner of Taxation on the 17th of October, 1991, and it is still current today. It is still current today. And it is all about betting and gambling and whether a taxpayer is seen to be carrying on the business of betting or gambling. Okay, so if you're in this position, like this person, you'd want to go and get this tax ruling because this tax ruling is significant. It is still current today. And what this ruling says, it took 3 cases that were established in the federal court in 1989. Okay, Evans,
Sorry, just to quickly clarify. So with Craig here, the lotto winner, $60,000. So Centrelink have now said that he has this obvious regular income, but he's a professional gambler because he's taken part in this lotto.
I presume that it's because of the systematic payments that he's getting on a regular basis that they've classed it as some sort of organized gambling system where it's assessable income. So this tax ruling talks about that. And it's a very significant tax ruling. It was following 3 cases, as I said, that were made in 1989, Evans, Babka and Brakovich. Okay, 3 significant cases. And each of those cases, they looked at the situation and all of them were involving horse betting. So people out there who, go and play with the horses and put some bets on, you might want to have your ears pricked up a bit more than usual. But there were 3 individual cases, and on those individual facts of each case, the commissioner determined that that the winnings of those taxpayers in each case was not assessable income. Okay, it was not assessable income despite the difference in the individual facts. And I want to talk about some things that the commissioner said, and which was pretty much all throughout each of the cases, because it's really significant. So the commissioner did say at the first instance, look, in each case, they've started with the assumption that punting, right, as we all know, the word punting may constitute a business. It may, in fact, constitute a business. But then, so you start off with that assumption, but then you've got to look at the individual facts of each case, who the person was, what type of bet it was, what type of activity, is there any evidence that could constitute or show that they were actually carrying on a business of gambling. Okay, so in each case, they looked at things like what was the type of bet, was there exotic bets on the horses, such as quinellas, trifectas, and other sorts of exotic bets, which truly couldn't be seen as a systemized way of betting. Yes, and a strategy. There was no computers, there was no offices set up, no staff to be seen as a business being run here for the purposes of betting. So what they were saying was that these cases were really lacking the element of system or organization. And unless you have those elements of a system or organized betting, which is crucial to making the decision or determination that someone's running a business for the purpose of being a professional gambler, then they won't be assessed on their winnings. And it's a very crucial piece, really, really important for people to be aware of. Because what they were saying is, look, in one of the cases that talked about someone's judgment and instinct. So, when you go and place a bet, you make a call, don't you, based on your instinct, based on you judging something or looking at something, and how I'm going to place a bet.
Or some of the women I know who just look at the colours. Oh, I like the colour. I like the name. I'll stick some money on that. Yeah.
Exactly. So in one of the cases, Babka, they were saying that, look, the taxpayer's judgment and instinct in his selection of horses, the amount of the type of bet that he wanted to place, they were all considered by the court, but the court said it wasn't enough to negate this concept of system and organization, which is the hallmark of a business. Yeah. And the really interesting part here, it said back in 1989, so before the massive growth of technology, they actually acknowledged back then that there's going to be a growth of modern technology with computers, etc. Right. So they were so astute, the court, to say back then that there could be someone could be so organized and have a systematic and business-like dedication to profit making. They did say that to constitute a business. But, and this is the big thing I want to get across, is the court did say, however, the intrusion of chance is a predominant ingredient in the outcome, right? The intrusion of chance. And as we all know, when you place that bet, 99% of the time, you've got that element of chance. You don't know what's going to happen, right? So that's very, very significant. And even in one of the cases, it was really super interesting. The taxpayer there, since he was very young, was placing bets. So he had a simple passion for gambling on a large scale. Ooh, not really something perhaps we see every day. Lots of people out there, of course, have passions for gambling, and that's fine. That's their choice. But the court said in that particular case, the mere indulgence without more is not engaging in a business. So the fact that you've got a passion for gambling, the fact that you do it on a large scale, since even that you were young, say for many, many years, and just the mere indulgence of doing that type of activity is not going to be seen to be engaging in a business without more to it.
Yeah. And going back to Craig there, the lotto winner. So him getting that income each month. And he did say in the article, I think, that he would consider taking Centrelink to court. Do you think he could win?
I think he could. Absolutely.
On that basis? Wow.
I think he can, yes, and he should be looking at this tax ruling straight away, and he should be speaking to Centrelink about this tax ruling IT 2655, unless, of course, they've got proof that he was actually setting up his whole business at home and he's got some systemized and organized way of placing his bets. But, unless lotto. That's exactly. How much of a chance? I mean, you could get someone to do the maths on that, isn't it? 1 in whatever it is.
Yeah, I think you've got a better chance of being hit by lightning than you do of winning the first prize in a lotto. Yeah,
exactly. So I think he's got a very good chance, and I think he needs to do that straight away, and then really bring that home for everybody out there listening who, I place that type of bet. I have a set for life. I'm a bit worried now. So yeah, but I think until that determination is made, I think that if you were going to do set for life, maybe you might want to change the way that you place your lotto bet until such time as we hear the outcome.
And there's the golden nugget, friends. We'll end on that one. Thank you, Despina. And just quickly before we wrap up, important dates. There's a couple coming up, and one in particular, the director identification numbers.
That's right. Big reminder, everybody. 30th of November, in 2 weeks' time, you're getting that cutoff. So if you were a director a year ago, so there was a cutoff by 30 November this year, if you were a director 12 months ago, that you had to get your director identification number. And if you don't by the 30th of November, big deal. So you're going to have massive penalties potentially awarded against you. So go and get it now. It's not a lot of time. Just go and do it.
Yeah, awesome. And then also the new stamp duty laws in New South Wales are official. So next week we'll chat about the details, give some reminders to our listeners as well. So stay tuned for that. But until then, if anyone wants to get in touch with you directly, Despina, where can they go?
Yeah, can phone the office 55291 294. They can email info@prialalegal.com.au, and then this segment will be uploaded on YouTube again this weekend.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Despina and Wayne.
We'll see you next week.
See you then, guys.